Okay, you ready? Look at the peacocks running around the field and releasing laser beams from their tails. And now, we dive underwater and see an octopus that pretends to be a crab, a snake, and other marine animals. And not far from the edge of the water, a hairy frog extracts claws from its legs like a Wolverine and attacks predators. Wait, what? No, these are not high-fever dreams. These are real animals that have incredible but incredibly strange superpowers. Let's start with peacocks and lasers. So scientists applied a special dye to some areas of the peacock's tail and found strange structures in those areas of the tail where the pattern resembles eyes. It turns out that those eyes could align light waves, reflecting them back and forth. Such manipulations with light turn these spots into yellow-green lasers. You probably don't get it, so let's find out what the word laser actually means. It's an abbreviation: light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. And you probably still haven't figured it out, so let's take a deeper look. If you direct some light at atoms of certain materials, such as crystals or dyes, these atoms will start to excite one another, emitting a stream of photons in one direction. That is, it's something like a reflection of light with high concentration and gain of photons. You probably know that if you pass a sunbeam through a magnifying glass, the lens will enhance the effect of this ray, and it can set objects on fire, so don't show this to your little brother. And so, in simple terms, a laser is the ordering of photons and their enhancement. If you immediately thought about marine inhabitants that can bioluminesce, then no, it's a different process. There, light appears thanks to chemical reactions. Now, to create a real laser beam like you see in the movies, you need to make the movements of light waves as synchronized as possible so that they move like people who march in step during a parade. One way to achieve this is to keep the light in a limited space known as an optical cavity. Now, let's get back to the peacocks. Scientists have discovered that their plumage has small optical cavities in the form of resonating nanostructures, and each of them emits two light waves, green and yellow-orange. So in simple terms, there are microscopic structures in their tails that work like some kind of biological cavity. It seems that just a big beautiful tail with right patterns was not enough for nature, so it added lasers there. But scientists don't know how the birds use this ability. We know that many animals see more than humans. Some eyes from the animal kingdom, like cats or dogs, detect various radiations, such as infrared and others. Perhaps peacocks see the laser radiation their tails produce and use it to attract partners or scare off enemies. If scientists determine the properties of these biological resonators, they'll be able to improve laser technology. Meanwhile, even if the mini lasers on the peacock's tail haven't impressed you, the next beast is unlikely to leave you indifferent. Now, do you like videos where professional parodists copy the manner of speech, accent, and body movements of famous people? In the animal world, there are also professionals who copy other animals' behavior. One of the most famous of them is the mimic octopus. It has all the necessary skills and features for pretending to be someone else: an advanced brain, a flexible body, 8 strong arms, not tentacles like the squid, and a chameleon's power. This guy stands out from all the others in the animal kingdom with the ability to imitate, because the octopus mimics not just one animal, but many, and can quickly switch between roles. Its repertoire includes parodies of sea snakes, the lionfish, shrimp, jellyfish, crabs, and many more. The mimic octopus doesn't just imitate behavior, it deforms its body so that no one doubts its persona. Why is it doing this? Obviously, not to make money. For example, it can transform into some venomous creatures to scare away predators. No toxins to drive a shark away? Well, pretend to be a lionfish, and your enemy will try to avoid you. The mimic octopus also hides in a hole, sticks out 2 arms with black stripes, and wiggles them in opposite directions, yoo-hoo, imitating the movements of a sea snake. You've probably noticed the difference between a real snake and this fake one. But here's a damselfish that won't. This fish is prey for sea snakes, so when it sees the octopus snake, it immediately swims away and no longer bothers our actor. The mimic octopus feeds on crustaceans and small fish. It forages for food in daylight on open sandbanks, where it's an easy target for enemies. For this reason, it learned to imitate other animals so effectively. At nightfall, it hides in a hole. I've been known to do that. But have you noticed another interesting thing about this octopus? It knows that damselfish are afraid of sea snakes. It also knows what kind of venomous fish to turn into to ward off sharks. It chooses a specific mask and action for each of its enemies. This means that the mimic octopus is the kind of guy that knows the whole party. It's basically a walking encyclopedia, a really smart one who could be a spy in the marine world. Many people change their behavior depending on the person they communicate with. It's awesome that this octopus can do the same thing. But even all these abilities don't make the mimic octopus as cool as the next creature. Now, you probably know the Wolverine from comic books. Do you know which living being on our planet is the most similar to this famous mutant? The hairy frog. It can regenerate quickly, and it also pierces its skin and releases sharp bones to use them as claws and fight off enemies. Wow. When the fight is over, the sharp bones are pulled back in and the body begins to heal itself. Oh, and the shape of the frog's hair is somewhat similar to the shape of the Wolverine's. And by the way, it's not really hair, but a collection of thin strips of skin pierced by vessels. They serve as an organ that helps breathe better in harsh conditions. Wow, sounds like a monster from a sci-fi movie, but everything you just heard is true. Would I lie? Such a creature really exists and lives in the streams and rivers of tropical Central Africa. It's small and looks similar to ordinary frogs, but during the mating season, it grows a thick, bristly fringe on its hips and sides. This strange body part helps frogs breathe underwater for a long time. The thing is, after the female lays eggs and attaches them to an underwater rock, the male guards them. During the currents, it can get carried away, so the frog buries itself in the floor and doesn't come up for a long time, staying near its offspring. And if predators approach, then, well, let's sympathize with them. The hairy frog uses the muscles on its paws to extract the sharp, curved claws from its fingers. According to the design of this mechanism, they look like clamshell knives, but outwardly, they resemble thin cat claws. The strange thing is that these claws are different from other claws found in nature because they don't contain keratin. That's the substance that makes up our fingernails and toenails and animal claws. But what are the hairy frog's knives made of? From the broken flanges of their fingers. The frog presses and breaks its finger bones, then pushes their sharp ends through the skin. With these claws, it hits so hard that it can even hurt people. The Cameroonian locals who hunt these frogs are afraid to touch them with their hands. Just imagine, you approach this cute creature and then, boom! It hits your hand with its clawed paw. You definitely don't expect something like that from a frog. So they break their bones using their muscles, pierce their own skin, and hit the enemy like they're using a machete. And then they pull the bones back in. But don't worry, thanks to their fast regeneration, their legs and skin get fully healed pretty soon. That's exactly what the Wolverine from the comic books does. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.